Like, share, subscribe to The Mix. Like, share, subscribe to my channel. I'm your host, owner, and creator of this channel. Like this video, share this video, drop some comments. Let's engage in the comment section. Before I continue, go ahead and smash that like button. And those who are digitally passing by, smash that subscription button. And for everyone, hit the notification bell. That way you will be in tune with all the content I drop on this channel. Like this video, share this video, like, share. Writs of mandate filed on May 19th, 2023 by Mr. DAYSTAR Peterson, aka Tory Lanez attorneys. Let me go over what a writ of mandate is. Writs of mandate, according to Google and Wiki, the writ of mandate is a type of extraordinary writs in the United States of California. In California, certain writs are used by the superior courts, courts of appeal, and the Supreme Court to command the lower bodies, including both courts and administrative agencies, to do or not to do certain things. Okay, there you have it. I wanted to explain that before I dive into my commentary and discussion on this document that was filed on May 19th on behalf of DAYSTAR Peterson by way of his attorney. So this gives you an idea what's a writ of mandate is. So basically it's the higher courts, and this is off on opinion interpretation of this. Basically the higher courts are looking at the lower courts with this writ of mandate filed by Mr. Lanez's attorney, saying, hey, this is the higher courts, the bosses. They're the boss of Judge David, which Judge David is the lower court. The bosses in the appellate court is more than one judge is going to be looking at this writ of mandate. They're called justices. So the justices is looking at this document. It's like, hey, what happened here? What happened here? This counsel has an issue with whatever happened in your courtroom with this case. Whatever legal actions, decisions, discretions, errors, questionable tactics, the process, all of that. I don't know what this writ of mandate actually stated, the document, the motion, whatever. I don't know that. But I'm just trying to give you all the understanding before I dive into my commentary and discussion. Everyone has a boss. Judge David has a boss. The lower courts is one level, and I'll go ahead and get into that as well. But I just wanted to paint this picture before I dive into my opinion and perspective and commentary on what a writ of mandate is, which was filed on May 19th by Mr. DAYSTAR's attorneys at the appellate level. This was filed at the appellate level. The brief has not been filed. The appeals brief is something different, and that's what was filed in Mr. Kelly's case, the New York case. In brief, an appeals brief. That means that actual brief is the appeal. That hasn't been done in this case. Mr. Kelly's case, it was done. The actual brief for the New York federal case. So now it's awaiting. The time is ticking. And it takes, because there's so many appeals, oh my gosh, on their table. It could take up to 2 years. So that's that. Sorry for the wait. I had to do a little bit more digging, but shout out to, I believe, Millie Milagro, my radio. I follow her on IG and also YouTube as well. Also, shout out to, I think the lady name is Crystal. The young lady name is Crystal. This is breaking news, breaking information. I would say writs of mandate filed on May 19th, 2023 by Tory's attorneys. Yes, it was. I will walk you all through what I uncovered. And again, shout out to the originators of this developing news. To me, it is definitely a good sign. Nothing is actual, factual in the court system. With the court process, it's chess, not checkers, and procedures and levels to this. So again, nothing is actual or factual. Things could happen and change just like that, especially when the higher courts are now involved. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I know I mentioned in my last video about just trying to be as accurate as possible. I will say this to you all. I signed up for email notifications, and I'll show you all how I got to that a little bit. It's all out here online. The courts are really updating their systems. They are, since I've taken my legal classes. They've done a great job, a lot of different courts around the United States, at becoming more technology friendly because they were quite antiquated, quite brick and mortar type of court systems now. A lot of digital court filings. Some jurisdictions and states require electronic filing. I remember they were transferring over to that when I was taking legal classes. So, I mean, technology constantly is changing. Trying to keep up with this. Some of them are crappy with the ones I've come across in Illinois, depending on which county you're in. Oh my gosh, some of their systems are crappy and needs to be updated, depending on which jurisdiction you're in or court town you're in, where you trying to search different cases for, whether it be civil or criminal or whatever. Some of their websites are very bootleggish and needs technology infrastructure updates to make it more polished and more up to date, up to par. But let me go ahead, and I found this on the California court system. I'll show you. Let me just share my screen. Okay. As you can see here, I just simply went to courts.ca.gov. You can just do a simple Google search. If you're familiar with Google, the search engine and all of that, you have to kind of filter through whatever the results are. But I think I typed in California court level or court system, and this came up. As you can see about California courts, there's levels to this, as I always stated. Overview: California's court system is the largest in the nation and serve a population of more than 39 million people, about 12% of the total U.S. population. Huge court system, and that is the case. A lot of states, their court system and the level of the court system is varies from state to state. Sometimes I think, depending on the state, and I do not know all of this by heart, but once I dig and dive into my research, I can uncover certain things and bring to you more accurate information. Nobody knows everything off the top of their heads, even attorneys. Sometimes they don't even know the history of their case. That's a doggone shame, but that's a whole nother subject for another day. A good attorney is on their P's and Q's, but a not so good attorney is barely could keep up with what's this, what's that, filtering through so many cases, even from a civil level. But I digress. Okay, the court system in California is 3 levels. You have the trial courts, Court of Appeals, and then you have the Supreme Court. And as you can see, the trial court is where Mr. Tory Lanez case was at. Judge David, the questionable prosecutors and the questionable judge, and the whole mess with his first team of trial attorneys, which Jose Baez and Matthew Bahama did not handle. Mr. DAYSTAR Peterson, aka Tory Lanez, they did not handle his trial case. So he has a new team of attorneys, and they're handling the post-conviction actions, which consist of whatever kind of motions, which consist of also eventually an appeal they'll file. Hopefully it doesn't get to that. And I know I said that last time when that questionable judge, Judge David, the prosecutor's judge, go back to my video section. You'll see what I mean when I said Judge David is the prosecutor's judge. That's based off of my research and my opinion. Just matter of fact, I will attach that link to this video the video I did about the prosecutor's judge. That's what I call them. That's my opinion. So the things that I uncovered about that particular judge, it's just this whole case to me was just not fair, and it's so many things in question, and I do not believe that Mr. DAYSTAR Peterson got a fair trial. And I know there's things going on about the prosecutors, what they're going for in terms of sentencing and all that. Whatever. Tomato. That's what they do. Blah, blah, blah. Especially if you don't kiss their ass or play nice. So they're going to try to go for the max. That's the tactics that they play. And to me, in my opinion, that's abuse of power. That's whole nother subject. Even judges could have abuse of power, abuse of discretion, all of that. So, but this is the California court system. And Judge David and Tory Lanez originally was at the trial courts and then Court of Appeals. So the vast majority of cases in the California courts begin in one of the 58 superior or trial courts, meaning the trial courts, the lower level. That's the lower courts. But everyone has a boss, you guys. With approximately 450 court buildings throughout the state, these courts hear both civil and criminal cases, as well as family, probate, mental health, juvenile, and traffic cases. Okay, so I went there, everyone. Okay, keep that in mind. Pause there. I went there, and all of this is public information on Google. You just have to do your search. I was kind of preoccupied today, so I was able to kind of search and dig a little deeper. And again, shout out to Millie, shout out to, I think, Crystal, for leading the charge in this, because you all can listen to who you want to listen to, but there's always more than one side to the story. So that's all I'm going to say right there. And also, too, you guys, vet your own information. Vet whatever information that comes before you. Ask yourself the questions if you have time. But if you don't, that's what I'm here for, to try to do that as accurately as possible. Vet information and bring to you, not just vet, but just, there's always another side. So searching for more information, because some people comes from a different place, and start trying to trust your own Black media when it comes to things like this. Black YouTubers, why not start trying to trust other different nationalities aside from the norm that always brings the news. If you get my drift. Try trusting more melanated people to bring and uncover information from another perspective, and not just being totally, that way you could take all sides or all accounts. But yeah, as you can see, I'm going to go ahead. As you can see that screen, that website I showed you, just go right to the website. Go right to the website. And I know I stated before, I wish I had access to certain legal applications that would provide a lot of information, more comprehensive information in terms of the filings and all of that. But I don't, because to my understanding, you have to be a part of a law firm or something like that to have that, unless they've changed it. But I've never looked into trying to get my own access. So, and it costs, to my understanding, especially for LexisNexis and also Westlaw, it costs. And this is what is in courthouses too, the LexisNexis or the Westlaw. Those are the type of digital legal applications that are being used within a courthouse. So, and that's just another gem. And I don't believe that it's open to the public unless there's a generic version. It's a lot when it comes to getting information. It's like sometimes people don't want to give you all that information, even with Google, how they, just the algorithm in itself. But I digress. Let me go ahead and share my other screen. Okay, I went to the appellate court case information, and it gave me I think 6 or 7 districts. So I started with the first one because I didn't feel like searching to see which district Tory's case was actually in or something. So I started off with the first district from an appellate level, and I didn't find anything under the case number that I searched or his name. So then I went to the second appellate district, type in the case number, name, or whatever, and voila. This is at the appellate level. Case summary, trial court. This is the trial court, Tory Lanez trial court case number. And then you have Court of Appeals. This is the number for the Court of Appeals. The B3 is the Court of Appeals number. Peterson versus Superior Court, Los Angeles County, et al. And this happens at an appellate level. So that means, honestly, Tory's team is beginning the appeal process. That's what this means. However, there was a document filed because no appeals brief has been officially filed. So let's go to, we're on case summary. While I'm on case summary, this was filed, case type CR, which is criminal, filing date May 19th. I'm going to go to docket. And you all can do this too. It's public information. Docket, right here we go. May 19th, file petition. Click on that. No, nothing comes up. Petition for writ of mandate, stay. Application filed May 19th. Application for a leave to file oversized petition brief. Okay, so that's the petition brief. This is all part of the appeals process. I believe every state is different, but this, when I like to compare the two in terms of process, and although it's different states, I do not believe this action, the writ, petition for writ of mandate, was taken on behalf of Mr. Robert Kelly. I do not believe that because his sentencing was handed down. For example, the Chicago federal case, Mr. R. Kelly's attorneys filed that motion for, I think, acquittal or new trial or something like that. And the same day he was set for sentencing, it's the same day that Chicago federal judge ruled that that motion was denied. So what Mr. Kelly's attorneys did was started to file appeals process, but it hasn't been officially filed, but the motion, I believe, has been filed. However, Attorney Jennifer Bargine is in the beginning stages. The brief has not been filed in the Chicago federal case. The brief has been filed in New York. I'm just trying to paint a picture, and I know this could become a bit like scattered or over the place, but I'm just trying to paint a picture in terms of the process, the steps when there's an appeal and what actions have been taken or could be taken. So basically what I'm stating is that with Mr. Kelly's Chicago federal case, the writ of petition for writ of mandate, his attorney did not take that action. What she's doing is because he has been sentenced in the Chicago federal case. Keep in mind, Tory Lanez has not been sentenced yet. So if you get my point, his attorneys are, I love it. I love his attorneys are fighting for, he has constitutional rights. You're paying your attorney, you make sure they do everything, uncover any stone. Because once you get sentenced, it's a wrap. And you will have to sit there like Mr. Bill Cosby. And I like to insert Mr. Cosby into the play. Like what happened with Mr. Cosby. Once you're sentenced, you're in prison. And the appeal process takes a couple years. So you're going to be doing a few years. Look at Mr. Kelly. How long he's been in prison. New York appeal just filed. And it's going to take how long for the judges to view that? So, and I'm coming again to you all. This is The Mix, a multifaceted channel. Drop a comment, drop a like, share this video. I'm coming to you from a legal perspective in terms of my opinion about this process and based on my experience with having, a legal background and my experience with civil and some criminal cases and in certain situations or whatever. So I'm bringing to you my perspective and opinion about this, and then also behind the scenes of how they operate within the judicial system. And again, pick up the book Crook County. I don't care. Pick it up. Google it, whatever. Read it or read some excerpts from it. I'm telling you, this court system is not fair. That's why I say I support all three. Tory Lanez, DAYSTAR PETERSON, aka Tory Lanez, Mr. Robert Kelly, and Mr. Bill Cosby. Just don't understand. This court system is not designed for certain people, especially for melanated people. I don't care, right, wrong, indifferent, however your feelings are, whatever, to each his own. But you, in my opinion, you can't root for one and say throw the book at the other. That's just my opinion. Because the prosecutorial tactics when it comes to the judge, their discretions, abuse of power, to me, it's all similar. It's the same. And that's not a good thing. Because justice is supposed to be blind and it's supposed to be balanced. Just imagine it could be at your doorstep and they doing whatever they can do to paint you out to be this person when you're not. It's the words and the terms they use. I've read so many cases in legal classes. I'd be like, wow, this is like a movie, but you have to see where it's coming from. Especially when the criminal complaint is written up by DAs, the prosecutors. They're painting a picture. They're painting a story to connect with the charges. That's what it is. Look at the OJ case. Take a step back, look at that. How they perform in front of the jury. All of that. I really think it should be an overhaul in the criminal justice system. I believe there should be an oversight committee with these judges, with these prosecutors, DAs, attorneys, public defenders. Yes, because I don't think it's fair. They all know or familiar with one another, especially those in the same courthouses. Come on now. But anyway, as you can see, this is at the appellate level. So the appellate level means that Judge David at the trial level, what I just showed you guys, the hierarchy, Judge David has a boss. He has people above him, the higher courts. So yeah, so this petition for writ of mandate, yes, it was filed. It was filed, as you can see here. We have Jose Baez, petitioner's amended proof of service. Okay. And now I'm going to go into briefs. I don't know briefs. I'm sure no briefs filed. No briefs yet. Schedule actions. No schedule actions yet. Let's go disposition. No disposition found. Parties and attorneys. And remember, this is the appellate court. Parties and attorneys. Matthew Bahama, DAYSTAR Peterson. Look, this is the appellate level, you guys. The appellate level. This is Judge David's bosses, as you can see. And this is all public information. This is all public information. Again, I believe this action and this action is for the writ of mandate, and it's also called the writ of mandamus. I believe this action is to actually delay, to put a pause on the sentencing. They haven't come out and just said that, but there is a stay on this, and that is good. So that means that the people have to respond. The real party, the people, the real party, and this is the Attorney General. Yeah. These are the parties. Yeah. So that have to be, and it's all here, public information. It's in appellate courts. Appellate courts. Again, this is all for informational purposes and for me to bring my perspective. Okay. What is the process of the writ of mandamus? A party petitioning for a writ of mandamus, and it's also called a writ of mandate. File a petition with the circuit clerk and serve it on all parties to the proceeding in the trial court. How long do you have to respond to a writ of mandate in California? The court generally will specify when the return or requested opposition is due. If the court fails to specify a deadline, the real party must file and serve its response within 30 days after the court issues the alternative writ or to show cause. Okay, so the response to the writ takes up to 30 days if the court did not specify. And I don't know this for a fact. I do not believe that was the case, but we shall see. So just keep this all in mind. Okay, this is just an example. This was a writ of mandate filed by someone else. This is in the state of California. So this is a separate case. I just wanted to give you guys an idea of how this will likely look when response is given. So up here you have the opinion, and these are the justices. Remember, this is a higher court. So you have opinion by Broussard, Justice, C.J. Mosk, that's the other justice, Newman, and Cobb, J.J. They have concurring opinions. And then you have a separate dissenting opinion. And these are, again, this is at the appellate level. So you have more than one judge. So you have Judge Davis's boss is going to be, basically, they're calling him through Tory Lanez, DAYSTAR Peterson, aka Tory Lanez attorney. David Herod and the prosecutors are likely being called to the front of the class. That's what that is for the writs of mandate. I don't know what the writs of mandate entails or details, but this is an opinion right here of a past writs of mandate with a whole nother case. So this is an opinion from one by the justices, and this is how they ruled. Let me show you what you're gonna see. This is opinion. You see opinion. See opinion. These are the justices, and we conclude that the Taylor rule should be applied retroactively. So they agreed with, I guess that was the writ, that was in the writ of mandate. So they ruled in the favor of the petitioner. I believe that's the case. I didn't go through this entire opinion because justices at a higher level, they love to hear themselves talk. So the opinions would be sometimes 2 to 3 pages long or more. Oh gosh, especially don't let it be a Supreme Court opinion. Woo, sheesh. United States Supreme Court opinion. Those are pretty lengthy. So yeah, it looks like they ruled no appearance for the respondent. Taylor rules should be applied retroactively, meaning, so with a writ of, and this is just an example, you guys. So, and the writs of opinion will be made public. So be expecting this. Again, this is an example. Just an example. That was just an example. I found a writ of mandate online from a previous case, and that's what you guys can expect once an opinion or decision is made. I believe with the writs of mandate, based off of my research, those who are being called to the front of the class have to respond, and like I stated, within 30 days. So it does seem, and I don't have this to be fact or actual, it does seem like Mr. Tory Lanez sentencing be on pause, especially if well, right now I'm not going to say it's on pause, and this is all quotation, possibly delayed and all of that, possibly pause. They're not stating that because the date is set. It hasn't changed, but the date is set, June 13th. However, you have this card being thrown at the trial courts, the prosecutors and the previous judge who presided over Mr. DAYSTAR Peterson's case. So that card, that wild card that's being thrown out there, is coming from Mr. DAYSTAR Peterson's attorney on his behalf, as they should, because they're getting paid to fight tooth and nail for their client. This action was kicked up to the bosses to look at. Say, hey boss. Hey. Boss of the lower courts, bosses, because it's more than one. Can you check this out? Before I file my appeal brief, he didn't say that, whatever, I'm just speaking. That's how it goes. Can you check this out before I file my appeals brief? And I'm almost certain, because nothing is ever actual, Tory Lanez's attorney has the appeal brief still being worked on or in process. They probably reviewing. They probably got it all together, but they'll file that immediately if this is rejected by the appeals court, this writ, if the opinion is not in their favor, put it like that. But that's after Judge David and them, and I'm gonna call them and them, respond, to what the bosses is probably inquiring or looking at as a whole with this writ. So again, shout out to Millie, shout out to Crystal. This is some good information, and this is all a part, as you can see, the appellate level. So this was filed at the appellate level. Lower courts, their bosses are the higher courts, the justices. So it's going to be more than one opinion given to this writ of mandate, and it's called Mandates 2. So there's going to be more than one opinion from one judge, because it's dealing with justices. And when you're dealing with the higher courts, you're dealing with more than one. And that's in the interest of trying to make things fair and balanced, because when you're dealing with the lower courts, you're only dealing with one. Mr. Tory Lanez dealt with one judge, and the prosecutors. But to me, they're all together. The prosecutors judge, especially depending on the jurisdiction. I would keep saying that because, you guys, I'm going to post that video. That's a prosecutor's judge. He was elected. Y'all better watch out who y'all vote for with these judges and who they affiliated with. Who got them in there? Who donated to their campaign? But yeah, this is good stuff. And you all can go do the same thing what I just did. You might uncover some things I didn't know. And also, I signed up to be on an email list. So, hey, to get case updates. So, hey, you guys can do that too. I encourage everyone to be empowered yourselves, to do your own digging, do your own investigating and research and cross-reference things. I employ you all. And to me, it's empowering. You can do this just like everyone else. So, but like, share, subscribe to the mix. Like, share, subscribe. So, writs of mandate was filed by Mr. DAYSTAR Peterson's team of attorneys on May 19th. So we shall see. We shall see. Remember, court hearing, sentencing is scheduled June 13th. Right now, I would say this is like pause, or how can I put it? I can say this is a like a ghost soft pause, a ghost soft pause, because things are still trucking along. They haven't canceled the sentencing, so these people, they have to respond. They have to respond. And I know Tory Lanez attorney, Jose Baez is it a thorn in their ass, and I love it. He's a thorn in the lower court's ass, and I love it. And I love it. Supposed to. That's what he's getting paid for. You need to have an attorney who's advocating on your best interest. I wish he was Tory's trial attorneys. It would different outcome. Him and a couple other people. Wow, different outcome. But hopefully, the justice, they're fair in this. Hopefully, they are fair in this. The appeals brief has not been filed, but as you can see, that writ is it's all under the appellate's court level. So it's the higher courts in California. Next, the justices are Judge Davis's boss. So, all right, you guys. All right. Like this video, share this video, drop a comment, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye.